Good morning, everybody. So, I just rolled out of bed. And you know what that means, right? I have news. I have news. I have news to tell you all. I have interesting news to tell you all. So, what is that? Well, we know Joan Hart, right? Remember her from Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Yes, that Joan Hart. She kind of did some sussy fuck shit. Just saying. There's really no other way to put it. So, on the show, she had a cat named Salem, right? And on the show, Salem was that wisecracking cat who's actually human and forced to be a cat for I think it was 100 years or something like that. It was a long time. Well, Joan Hart, I think, thought it would be funny to show that she was more of a dog person than a cat person, which, in fairness, I understand the debate between do you like dogs or cats better? Well, to me, I have dogs and cats and snakes and guinea pigs, mice and rats and ferrets and blah, 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 blah. But that's not the point of this video. The point is that Joan Hart did a very distasteful way of showing that she likes dogs better than cats by showing her saying that she likes dogs better than cats by kicking a stuffed cat. But it wasn't just any stuffed cat. It was a stuffed black cat. Now, you may ask, why is this so important that it is a black cat? Well, it was supposed to look like Salem 1, probably, to make an homage to Salem. But 2, we do know that, the stuff behind black cats in real life. And there is a word I'm fishing for. And the black cat community and what they get and how they are treated, needless to say, black cats do not have the best rep. That's the word I'm looking for, representation. The best representation. And a lot of times people say, the statistics say they're unlucky and that, they don't get treated well and blah, blah, blah. Obviously not true. I have 6 of them and I have 1 fat tuxedo. Again, not part of the video. Not the point, though, either. The point is that she kicks the black cat, stuffed animal, out of the frame and shows her dog. I understand what you were going for. I do. But it was very distasteful knowing that the black cats get a very bad representation and you do that kind of fuck shit. And not many people were happy. Most people weren't happy. The news got a hold of it and wasn't happy about that. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. And I have 6 black cats and 1 fat tuxedo. So, let's talk about that. So, I understand the joke that, you like dogs better than cats. I do. But doing something like that where you're literally kicking a stuffed animal black cat out of frame, probably not the smartest move. Even if you didn't have the status that you did, if I did something like that with the totem pole status that I had, where I'm lower on the totem pole than you, I would get backlash. You are higher on the totem pole than I am. You're getting backlash because the news media is getting a hold of it. The internet would destroy me if I did something like that. I just talked about in a previous video about how snakes and animals were getting treated on Killer Karaoke. And then I hear about that shit. So, especially black cats, that's kind of why we didn't mean to start that, but that's why we got our first cat, Seneca, because she's a black cat and they get a bad rap around Halloween, at least where we are, in our state, in our city. They will stop all black cat adoptions on Halloween and the week before Halloween and the week after, so they will not get sacrificed. That's so people don't adopt them for the wrong reasons as well. And I love that idea. I do. But with that being said, doing something like that shows that you have a very twisted sense of humor. And there's a difference between a funny, twisted sense of humor and just a twisted sense of humor where it's not funny and it's very distasteful. And to be honest, you should have known you were going to get backlash the moment you posted that. Again, in this case, status does have a lot to do with it. You are up here. I am down here. No matter what our status is going to get noticed the moment you do fuck shit like that. It's going to get noticed. And especially when the news media sees it, it's going to get noticed. And especially when you post it and you have as many followers as you do. I don't have as many followers as you do, and that would get noticed very, very quickly if I did something like that. I wasn't even following her on Instagram. I actually went to go find her Instagram just to see the actual video, just to make sure that nobody docked it or nobody like kind of, took it out of context. And unfortunately, it was the actual video. And she's smiling in it and she thinks it's funny. I'm reading the comments and I can't even get through all the comments. It was so sad. Again, black cats are actually probably, again, I love all animals. I do. But black cats get the worst rep ever of all the kitties. That was so distasteful. And honestly, it was sad too. Why would you do something like that? Knowing that everybody is a fan of Salem. Knowing the show you came from. It's just sad. Coming from an animal lover and everything, it's really sad. So, people, before you do something like that and post something like that, think about the effect it's going to have, knowing that it's probably not going to have a great outcome. And as a comedian, I do say some off-the-cuff stuff. Not usually, though. My off-the-cuff stuff is my Kim Jong-un jokes. But that's why I'm kind of careful. And I get really, prickly because I don't want to offend people. And it's funny because, some comedians, they want to be on that, fence of offending people but being funny. I don't like offending people naturally. So as a comedian, I don't like doing that. So the fact that Melissa Joan Hart didn't even think about offending people by kicking a black cat out of the shot, even though it was a stuffed animal, shows you that she didn't think about other people. And again, it's just something that some people just don't think. I won't say everybody doesn't think about it in this case, but some people don't think about that, especially the high status like her. You don't think about the consequences like that. You just think at the time, oh, it's going to be funny. Everybody's going to like it. You don't think about the long-term consequences that it's going to have. You don't. And so, yeah, that's your newsworthy news this morning. I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye.